Hey y'all, my name is Tamia. I'm a spiritualist and I am here to talk about shadow work and manifesting money. Everything that you need to know /do think about before you start trying to manifest money, abundance, wealth into your life. Okay, so let's get right into it. Number one, y'all know I got my notes here, so I'm gonna be looking down and looking at my notes so I can stay on track and on task with this video. So number one, before you start manifesting money, is that you want to examine what your money story is. Okay. What is your money story? Your money story is your views, your interactions, and your relationship with money throughout your entire life. So if you are reflecting on that, you might want to examine the way that you have seen your parents, family members, guardians interact with money. Were they good with money? Were they savers? Did they have a poverty mindset? Were they overworkers, overworked and underpaid? Like, what was that experience like for you? Like, what did you witness? Right? So the first thing that we learn about money and how to interact with money is from the people that raised us and the people that we're around. Did you grow up around people that were irresponsible with money? They were barely able to pay bills. They were always scraping by, always trying to figure out some type of scheme, some type of hustle to try to make more money. What was that experience like for you, right? And then you need to examine like how any of those traits, interactions, and perspectives have translated to you. So because of what you've seen, because of what you have had a relationship with as far as people and the way that you've seen them deal with money, then what is your reaction when you have money or when you don't have money, right? Do you get really stressed about not having any money? Are you good with money? Are you a good steward over your money? Do you make sure that like things are taken care of? Do you allow yourself to be pampered? How do you feel about spending money on yourself, right? Because that's another key thing is like, if you have it, like splurge a little bit on yourself. I'm not saying splurge and be irresponsible, like, but do things for yourself, right? So it's really important that you examine how you are taking those traits that you've learned and adopted them into your own system of money, right? Because the way that the universe works is like everything is a yin yang. There's a flow of energy with everything. Like it's a give and take type of thing. Like it's just like a cycle. So if you are working and overworking because of a poverty mindset, then that energy of poverty and that feeling of poverty is going to continue, and you're always going to be living from a place of just enough, just barely getting by. If you're not good with money, so you're overspending, or you're spending money on things that don't matter excessively or all the time, you're putting that energy out to the universe that you're not being a good steward over what you have. You are not handling what you have properly. So it's all about the intention also from which you're doing things. If you watch my previous video about like having patience and doing shadow work and doing spiritual work, your intention is so important when you are doing things, right? It is so important that you examine why you're doing something. So are you buying something because you're scared? Are you buying something because you're trying to keep up with everybody else, right? So you want the designer bags, the designer outfits, you want to fit in, you want to be a part. And I'm not saying that you can't buy nice things for yourself, because I do think that is necessary. But again, when you're doing it excessively, or your intention is just to keep up with other people and keep up with social media, or to keep up with your family, or you're constantly trying to impress somebody, but like deep down inside, like you're still sad and you're still lonely. Are you spending money to fill voids? That could be a thing too. Another thing that comes into play that you need to examine is, are you a giver, right? Are you a giver, not just of money? It doesn't have to necessarily just be money, but or something monetary, but are you a giver of your time? Are you a giver of your energy, right? Because that creates a flow when you invest, when you make investments in other things and other people, and even within yourself, that can come back as a cash return. That can come back as an unexpected check. That can come back as some type of gift, some type of deposit, right? It doesn't always have to be geared towards money, but again, it's about the flow of energy and the intention in which you do things, right? So if your intention is to just do something out of the kindness of your heart, or you're helping people because you see that they're in need, or you're just doing cute little things here for your friends and just like putting good energy out, good vibes, just really positive, that can also come back to you monetarily, although it is also to give monetarily as well, again, because it helps the cycle and the flow and how the universe is just like observing you do things. Another thing I want to chat about real quick is planting seed in good ground. So a lot of times when we are making investments, maybe with ourselves or with other people, you're planting seeds, right? Even when you speak something, you're planting seeds. This man is coming over here with the weed whacker. So you're planting seeds. And sometimes we're not always planting seeds in good ground. Sometimes we're not always giving our time, our energy, our effort, and our money into the right places. And so that's why we're not reaping what we're sowing. We're not seeing the return that we want to see because we've planted our seeds in desolate ground. Like it's dry, it's not being watered, it's not being matured. So you're not going to see a return from something if you have not put your seed in good ground. And again, what is good ground? I can only reference this back to like church and like the energy of it. So again, it's not about actual soil and it's not about an actual place, but it's about place, person, or thing, but it's about the energy there and the intention there. So again, in church, I'm gonna have to talk over this weed whacker. Excuse me. In church, we made sure that the atmosphere was conducive for us to be able to receive abundance and wellness and all these wonderful things, right? We broke up the fallow ground and we created and cultivated and prayed and put energy into ground that was good. So when we sowed our seeds in prayer or in offering or in tithe, or we were just planting a financial seed or a spiritual seed, we knew that our seed was going into good ground, meaning that the energy is good, there is a good flow, the ground is nurturing, it's flourishing, it's thriving. Overall, it's just a place for where a seed can thrive. There's good light, meaning like good spiritual light, good positive energy, good nurturing energy, all those good things. Now, with that being said, to add on to this, I'm almost done, have a couple more points. You have to have a mindset about yourself where you are remembering and reminding yourself that you are worthy and deserving of prosperity and abundance. But this goes back to your money story, right? This goes back to your views about yourself, what you feel like you deserve, what you feel like you're capable of, and what you feel like you can handle. So like, I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are trying to manifest like millions of dollars. They don't have the mindset or the discipline to handle millions of dollars. You have to be in a certain posture spiritually, mentally, and emotionally for certain things. You have to be aligned for certain things. You have to be in alignment. And there are some things that I feel like we try to overcompensate and we overdo it because, again, we're trying to manifest from a state of lack. We're trying to manifest from a state of fear. We're trying to manifest from just not a good place, right? We're manifesting out of like not enough. And so if you've heard people that do end up like they win the lottery or they inherit millions of dollars and they still have a poverty mindset and they end up going broke within a year, 2 years, because in their mind they're saying, okay, I have to spend all this money, or I have no control and no discipline because I've never seen this much money before. And so I'm going to go blow all of it. I'm going to buy every single nice thing because I want to be fancy. I want to brag. I want to splurge. I want to do this. And you're not thinking about investing. You're not thinking about how your money is going to circulate energy wise, right? All of those things are a return that creates a flow with your money, right? So I can think of a story in the Bible where this, I think he was like an entrepreneur or a businessman. He was going somewhere on a trip, and he needed his servants or whomever to take care of his money. And so he gave one talent. I don't know. Is that what they call money? I haven't read the story in a long time. But basically, he gave each of them some money. So he gave 1 talent to one man, 2 talents to another man, and 3 talents to the third man. And the first man that had 1 talent, he went and he buried his money. He hoarded his money, and the other 2 went out and invest. And so when the man returned and he said, okay, what have y'all done with my money? Like, how have you taken care of it? And the first one said, well, I buried it so I wouldn't lose it. I didn't want anything to happen to it. And the other 2, they were willing to take a chance, and they were also good stewards, and they understood how money worked, and they went and they made investments, and they were able to give that man back more than what he gave them. And the man that just buried the coin was like a disappointment, because you didn't do anything with what you had. You kept it, you hoarded it, and so the energy stayed with you. You didn't create a new flow of energy. You didn't create anything new with what you had, right? So there also has to, again, there has to be a mindset change where you're like, okay, I understand flow, and I don't have to hold on to everything. Because again, you can hold on to things out of fear of lack, out of not having. So you don't do anything with your money because you're afraid that this is all you're gonna get, and you're never gonna get anything ever again. And so you won't even give a dime, a dollar. You won't even buy yourself a $5 cookie because you wanted something sweet on a Friday after a long hard day, or I don't know, some homeless man wants $10 to get something to eat. Keep your money in circulation. Keep your money doing something so it can always be coming back to you. Even if you do give money to a homeless person, I know a lot of people say, well, I don't know what they're doing with that money. They could go off, buy drugs. They can go do anything. You're absolutely right. They can go do anything. But what matters is the intention in which you gave the money. And the intention should be to help people, to give when you see somebody in need, whether it's $1, $2, 12, 20, whatever it may be. It's then up to that person to continue that energy. Whatever they do with it from there is up to them. But you have created a flow of energy for yourself, and that can return to you however you would like it. So make sure you create a environment within yourself where you know that you are deserving of abundance and prosperity, and you are worthy of flow, and you are deserving of being okay financially and having more than enough. And you don't have to live from a place of lack. You don't have to have a lack mindset. You don't have to be a hoarder of your money because you're afraid of never having again. You are deserving of what flows to you. And so that leads me to my last point of just putting yourself in a state of receiving. Just putting yourself in a state of receiving and saying, I receive every good thing that is for me, that is meant for me. I receive all that is in alignment with me, every good and perfect thing that comes from the Lord that is in alignment with me. I receive it. I put my heart in a posture of receiving, my mind, my emotional existence in a state of just being able to receive. And that starts by receiving small things, right? Like being able to receive help from people. So if you're doing something and somebody, do you want help? Or if you feel like you need help, asking for help, right? That's another way that you can create a flow of receiving abundance and prosperity financially, right? We're just speaking on money, but there's so many other ways to be abundant and prosperous. You can be abundant and prosperous in your health, your mental health, emotional health, your spiritual health, your physical health, right? But just speaking about money, those are some ways that you can examine mindsets that may be blocking your flow of money, your flow of abundance, putting yourself in a mindset of deserving and receiving. Yes. So I'll be back with more shadow work videos so we can learn all the things and do all the things. Please subscribe if you haven't, comment, like, share. And if you want to follow me on TikTok, I am at Tamia Speaks.